Okay, thank you very much, class. It's my pleasure being with you once again. We have met in different occasions, and now this is yet another time, and it's my pleasure. Now, today, we are going to share something about you that is about adolescents. Now, adolescents are normally between the ages of teenagers. The word teenagers means ages of 13 up to 19. Those are the ones we can talk about as adolescents. Now, the World Health Organization puts the adolescents between 10 years to 19 years. But that is now World Health Organization. What about us in Uganda? How about us here in Nachivari? Ours, we are going to look at those ages between the teenagers. That is between the 13. The word teenager comes from the teens. 12 is not teen. 13, 14, 15, up to 19 gives us what we mean or what we call the teenagers. And therefore, those are the people now. It's a group of you, most of you, whom we are going to look at as teenagers. Because you fall in this very category, we have our different challenges. And then there's that saying that teenagers are not understood. Can you imagine that teenagers are not understood? Because for you think that what you have in mind, your decisions are always right. And these mature big people, they don't understand you. It's because of some small, different, well-studied things that make you feel big, make you feel not understood, make you feel that maybe you are neglected, or others don't understand you. And now, we have 5 main characteristics that define teenagers or define adolescents. Studies have been carried out. One is growth. The first characteristic is growth. That between the ages I've told you of teenagers, there is rapid growth. You experience yourself that you are growing. Now, growing is just increase in your volume. We talk about that one as growing, an increase in your volume. What does that mean? That you increase your bones, normally increase, your body size are brought about by increase in muscles. When your muscles increase, they look at you as if you are growing big. I know some of you, like girls, after that age of childhood, eventually they start bursting into, some big size. And don't worry about that. Because this growth, you are just increasing in volume. And that is growth of an individual. All of us have gone through that. We have grown in size, in muscles, in bones. But that's not a big problem. It just lasts a short time. After the teenager time, of course, it will end. Then, we also have development. Now, someone is wondering, what about that? Isn't the development the same as growth? No, not at all. I can give you an example, the difference between growth and development. You've heard about politicians say we have grown, we have developed, and they use them interchangeably as if they are the same. Not at all. Your village or the numbers of refugees in this resettlement camp can grow. They can grow in number, but they may not develop. Why? With development, we look at quality. The quality brought in, the increase in quality of educational services, quality of roads given, the quality of many things that we can look at. But in growth, we only look at quantity, volume. So, in our bodies, you can grow only in the body, but you have not grown in quality of thinking, quality of doing things. quality of reasoning. Therefore, we say you have grown, but you have not developed. I don't want you to be taken among those who have just grow without developing, because we want to see a quality person coming up from one age to another, from 13 to 14 to 15. We want to see quality of a person in you, both in class, outside class, not just only in academics, but also quality in playing football, quality in athletics, quality in music, dance, and drama. You are bringing up a quality person, an adolescent person who is growing up in quality. Then we also look at decision making. It is a big characteristic when it comes to adolescents. Many times, adolescents have been taken to be giving wrong decisions. And it's because of different pressures from here and there. They normally copy. They copy from your friends. And you think that your friends are giving you better decisions, but you find that they are giving you things which may not be right. And therefore, it is up to your intellectual, up to your qualitative development, that you are going to differentiate that actually this decision is good and the other one is bad. Normally they say wisdom. Wisdom comes from God. Therefore, we normally look at a person growing. Is this person growing qualitatively or quantitatively? By looking at the decisions that you normally make. How do we determine those decisions? We can look at, for example, a boy. What from school, where are you going? Are you going to watch films? Are you going to help your parent? Are you going to play football? Or you are going to lay some girl somewhere and waste a lot of time there, and moreover the girl maybe is not coming. Wow. That is decision making. We normally look at decisions made, and we determine, is this adolescent really growing up the right way, qualitatively or quantitatively? Decisions made matter so much. We have seen girls, and we hope they're not among this class, who normally misfire and make wrong decisions, end up getting pregnant, end up getting married at an early time, and eventually they waste their life in the future. And therefore, adolescents, we know you very well. If you are lying in the group of those people of ages below 19 and above 13, teenagers, then we normally watch your decisions. You must make good decisions such that at least you are taken as a serious person. Another one is status. You have seen growth, development, decision making, now status. Adolescents are fond of finding their own status. That's the time they want to change in the way of walking. That's the time they want to change the way of dressing. And I've seen most of you bouncing, putting on balances, and you think you are now okay. No. Let not adolescent drive you. You must learn how to drive your adolescent. If you don't control your adolescence, adolescence is going to control you. And if you believe in being controlled by adolescence, then you will be going off track. We lose you as a proper citizen. We don't gain in you in the future. I want to see most of you controlling your adolescence such that tomorrow we can meet and you say, "Hi teacher." That is search for self. Now, we want to look at the status. People look for status in form of money, in form of the style, please make sure that the manner you look for, the style you look for, the style of dressing, the style of walking matches with what is considered as good in society. The last characteristic of adolescents is self-esteem. People want to know themselves. That's why you find that in this very category of people try to identify themselves with some groups. And those groups are of their status, of a given status, of a given caliber. Boys form their groups of gangs. You see, for us we are this, for the other ones are this. The other ones in class we sit in groups. Normally for us as teachers, we know you, that no problem, it is adolescence. It's an adolescent stage. And it is the one which is driving you. But from the beginning I told you, please, do not be driven by adolescence, but adolescent, you should drive it rather. Now there are some physical changes that we experience during adolescent time, during this very time. One, I've told you, the changes in bones and other organisms and body systems. There are many changes which normally take place in our body systems. And of course, we must learn how to live with these changes. Then there's also change of sleeping patterns. Sleeping patterns. When I say that, I know girls are saying, maybe me or not me. But we know that during this time of adolescence, you don't want to sleep early, but you want to wake up late. Very dangerous. You don't want to wake up for prep because you want to sleep more time. But in the evening, you can go dancing, you don't have sleep at all. And for us as teachers, we are trained to handle you in that psychological change, that we have to change you and bring you back to lying. So you also have to drive yourself. Sleeping is very important. That's a topic of another day. But you must make sure that you have enough sleep. Because you have to wake up early and do business. Go to class. Go and do something else of importance. So, in this stage of adolescence, we normally experience people wanting to sleep late, but waking up late also. Time for working is morning, but they want to sleep. Another physical change is about sweat. During this time of adolescence or of teenagers, the puberty time, this time we normally see you sweating so much. A smaller activity, you sweat. You run a little, you sweat. You dance a little, you sweat. You find someone younger than you is not sweating. Those ones in lower primary are not sweating. But you start sweating all the time. It's just a small activity. So how do we handle that? You have to bathe. Make sure that you shower frequently to avoid the smell and contamination and pollution of the class of others. So you have to always bathe. When you sweat, don't think it is abnormal, that I'm sweating too much. It is very normal, as long as you are in that age bracket. But what you have to do is to make sure that when you go back home, you bathe. And make sure when you are bathing, even the so-called you call private parts, make sure you bathe them properly well. Sweating is always the armpits, down there, make sure you clean properly. Otherwise, you are going to smell and pollute the environment. Then we also have a physical change of voice. The voice. That's the time when boys, we will normally call it a voice box. What about girls? Adam's apple. It's called an Adam's apple for girls. That sharp voice. Whereas the boys normally now ready to develop big voices, and they also want to add posing that maybe it is style. Come on. Let it not drive you. It's a physical change. Just know that during that time, I'm going to go through this and control yourself. If you have it and it's good, please join choir, join music, sing in school instead of threatening people, hiding somewhere, and even reply your father, Wanji, yes, can I come? No. Don't use it on a bad note. Use your voice on a good note. But for us, we know it that it is normal during this time of adolescence. When you are a teenager, it is very much normal. Then we also have a physical growth in muscles. I mentioned it some time back. And many people, especially girls, don't mind take it on a wrong note. That you say, I'm growing fat, and I'm too fat, I'm going to change figure, suji, whatever. No. It is very normal that muscles normally grow big during that time. They go stronger, especially in boys. You grow much stronger. Haven't you seen these boys making press-ups all the time, putting on vests? They even change the dressing. They put on vests. They start showing the so-called muscle moving around, feeling very strong, as if they can even break every wall, every tree, every person they meet around. They feel that strength. No, don't lie yourself. You're going to break any tree. It is just a change, a physical change that every individual, every one of us has gone through, and you can also go through. And therefore control it. Know that it is a physical change, and it will end. My friends, there's also increase in weight. Increase in weight. It goes hand in hand with increase in muscles, increase in bones. Of course, the weight also changes, or it increases. As long as you're in that time. What brings about that? Eating is also increased, by the way. You eat, you feel like eating all the time, drinking all the time. Of course, not alcohol. Drinking water, drinking juice. You feel like a person who was taking maybe 2 bottles of soda, now he wants 3 or 4. That's normal. That is very normal. When you eat, you increase in muscles, you increase in bones, but also your weight also increases. Don't fear. There's no problem with that. You eat as long as you have the appetite to eat. Are you aware? There are those people who want to eat, but they don't have appetite, in hospital lying somewhere. You are lucky. You have the food. You have the appetite. Eat it. Grow in muscle. But that is just adolescent. Time comes when you come to our age, you don't feel like eating too much, just a little, and you are satisfied. So that is a normal behavior in adolescence. What am I trying to say in conclusion? That whatever changes you may experience, you may go through, I have the ones I've mentioned and those I've not mentioned, take them easy. Control yourself. Those changes can be controlled by yourself by making better and good decisions, and you'll be a better citizen of tomorrow.